Good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to the technical session 4C. Myself, Mihir Chauhan, and my colleague Disa, we wish you a good afternoon and welcome to the session of fourth World Conference on Smart Trends in System Security and Sustainability, World S4 2020. Uh, Due to COVID-19, we all are going through a new normal phase, and the team of World S4 wishes you a safe and healthy time for you and your well wishers. We are constantly trying to overcome the challenges that research community is facing at different level. We at Global Knowledge Research Foundation are fully committed to contribute and enhance the digital experience in research activities. To continue further, this conference has received more than 700 papers from 40 plus countries marked through direct submissions as well as from special session. Out of that, total 142 papers were accepted by the technical review committee. And once again, we all would like to congratulate you for your research work and to be a part of the success story in the fourth version of this conference, World S4 2020. Further, I would like to welcome our session chair, Dr. James Mega Stephen. Uh, Hello, sir. We welcome you on behalf of the whole team of World S4 2020.
Thank you, Mihir. Thank you so much
Yes.
for the invitation.
Yes, Dr. Stephen is professor at Department of CSE Welfare Engineering College, Visakhapatnam. He has more than 15 years of experience. His area of interest include image processing, artificial intelligence, and computer network. Yes, sir. Do you like to share anything to our presenters before I start?
Yeah, even I'm eager to listen to the presenters. And
Okay.
it was a nice time. I was there last time physically in London. And due
Y-
to COVID, I'm excited to see or participate through this platform. And I thank Mihir and Amit for remembering me and inviting to this conference in this mode. And I'm excited to listen to different research contributions. And in fact, at least we could able to run like this. So I'm more of a uh, position to listen to different research contributions. So I have less to say and more to listen. Mihir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So we move ahead towards our first presentation. Uh, First presentation will be by Roland. I'm making you a co-host, and now you can set your presentation. He is setting a presentation on object recognition development for Android mobile devices with text-to-speech function created for visually impaired people. Yes, Roland, up to you.
So, hello. I would like to present my first paper, um, which is the other one.
Okay, it is fine, Roland. You can present this one first and later on that one. So
Okay.
yes, so we have two papers from Roland, so he will present two papers now.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say good afternoon. My name is Roland Sabo. I'm from Timișoara, from Romania. and I made a paper with temperature measurement in for a solar system. So did you know that solar panels are uh, very often found in households, and today's efficiency is around 10 to 15%. And this efficiency will grow with 10% every 10 years. So it means around 1% each year. So the efficiency, let's say in 20 years, will be over 35%. This being said, microgrids will be present at everywhere, and every one of you will generate electricity by themselves, not getting from the system. Of course, a solar panel cannot stay only by itself. It needed some sensors to measure some data. In this paper, I created the temperature measurement, the temperature measurement part of the solar panels. So at the university, we have a solar house. I shall present the solar system, the block schematic, the acquisition of the temperature, and the presentation of the tool created in LabVIEW with front panel and block diagram. And finally, I will say some conclusions. The aim of this work is using PT100 or PT1000 thermocouples placed in strategical parts of this thermoelectric hybrid solar system, which is made from a solar collector, which has a parabola shape and has hexagonally shaped mirrors glued on it. And of course, it has a solar concentrator with a vacuum chamber, which is built around the tag. The temperature sensors are connected in this 4-channel RTD input module, which is connected via the computer via the RS485 industrial serial port. All this data is acquired and is saved in an SQL database with the specific acquisition software. So this is our solar house with the solar with the parabola solar panel and the concentrator. Inside the solar house, we have this boiler where we can heat water with these solar panels and also generate electricity. And this is the system of the thermoelectric hybrid solar system, where we have this solar collector and solar concentrator, as I presented before. And this is how the energy is harnessed. The block schematics of this thermoelectric hybrid solar system, this is only a part of it. It's quite complex. So we have this solar system with a lot of sensors, pressure sensors, and also these temperature sensors. All of these are connected via the RS485 serial industrial interface to the computer. Of course, in this block schematic, you can see the boilers, the puffers with different volumes, 5 liters, 11 liters, the solar concentrators, the temperature concentrators, which has this Z4RTD2 Seneca systems, where we can connect more thermocouples to acquire temperature and to send it to the computer via the RS485 port. This is how a simple system is connected. So we have the PT100 or 1000 thermocouple connected to this Seneca RTD module where it can be connected up to 4 thermocouple systems. This is communicating via the RS485 port. Because our PC normally has only RS232 port, then we need this ADAM converter to convert it from RS485 to RS232 in order to be able to connect to the computer. And of course, in the PC, we can have RS232 port or another converter from RS232 to USB port. This is the front panel of the temperature acquisition program made in LabVIEW. So here are configured the serial characteristics, the resource name, which is a COM port, a serial port, baud rate, 9600, 8 data bits, no parity, 1 stop bit, no flow control, and 200 milliseconds of timeout, and some switches if you want to write termination character and so on. For the serial system, for the serial settings, we need to set the wire mode, which is 2-wire serial. So we don't use the classic 485 protocol, which has 4 wires, 2 redundant. We are using only 2 wires. And the termination character, in our case, it was just for testing the commands, but in our case, it's not used. If you want to create a line feed or an A hexa character, which means end of the command. In our situation, it's not needed. And then we have this string which we are writing to the Seneca RTD module to acquire temperature, and this is our response. We extract the useful data, which it's starting from here, so 41D0, and convert it in temperature, and we have 26 degrees temperature in our room. In the next slide, we shall see how the code is created. So all the serial settings which were presented on the front panel, and all the configurations, and the main thing here is the response string, which is extracted. So extraction from the third byte, 2 byte long. So if we go back, we can see it's actually the third byte. 2 digits like this is 1 byte. So 1, 2 is the third byte is 41. 2 byte long, 41D0. So this is the extraction. And we shall convert it from the string value in a numeric value and reverse the byte orders and create our array and convert it then in a float value. And then we shall see the temperature value, which is 26 degrees in our room. And as a conclusion, it was presented, this temperature acquisition system, using these PT100 or PT1000 thermocouples. Shortly, I can say the difference is the resistance which is used in these thermocouples. The PT1000 has higher precision. In some places we needed higher precision, in others not. We use these thermocouples connected to the Seneca analog input-output module, which has 4 channel input. So we can connect at most 4 thermocouples to it. And all of it was connected to this ADAM RS232 to RS485 converter. And the RS232, it was connected to the PC. The hardest part of the system is to reading all the datasheet of the Seneca system and to figure out the command, the correct command, how to obtain the temperature from this device. And of course, we would like some further enhancements to create by using system on a chip devices, not in this case, not to connect the Adam RS-232 to 485 converter to the PC, to convert it to embedded systems. Some of them would be the Zinc 7000 with system on a chip, the Z-board, Z-board, or of course other devices like Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and so on. And the only challenge is to convert this LabVIEW code into C, C++, Java, or Python programming languages. Some references that I used in my paper, and I would like to thank you for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much, Roland, for explaining. Yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah. I have a question. Did you compare your system with any existing system to prove your efficacy of your system? Did you make any comparison with the existing system that calculate the temperature in the solar system?
I didn't make the comparison with other systems, but the temperature was read quite accurately because these thermocouples were actually glued in key parts of the boilers, and with this contact measurement, I could get temperatures even with 2 decimals if I needed. In the presentation wasn't so precise, but I could get even with 2 decimals. I think water temperature, it's no need to have too big precision in the water temperature. We just want to know if it's too low or too high, and how can we heat up water starting from freezing degrees to higher temperatures.
Okay. So from the remaining participants, if you have any question to Roland, you are free to ask any question.
Yes, anyone has any question regarding this presentation? Okay. I don't think so. I think if anyone has still any question, you can write into the chat box. It is open, so Dylan will answer it later on. And we have a quick reactions option in our Zoom desktop application, as well as from our mobile application. So we'll give a quick reaction at the end of every presentation, uh, just to. Okay, thank you. So now again, Roland, you can go with your next presentation.
Hello again. This is my next presentation. I hope you can see my paper.
Yes, we can see.
In this paper, I created a mobile app which can recognize objects just by making a photo. So I would like to attract your attention in a way that did you know that in the Google Play Store there are 13.8 million apps. So what can we do to make something different, or can we really create an app that that would be so interesting to be something different? Because it's very harsh word in the mobile app world, where there are some developers that have no downloads, so zero downloads. So in order to succeed, you need to be really something interesting, and of course to have a really solid app, because in the first second that the app crashed, the user uninstalled your app and will never reinstall it again. So no second chance. So I tried to do an interesting app. Initially, I'm working with robotics, and I wanted to make some object recognition for robotics, but the first implementation was the easiest way on a mobile phone app. So as I will present the extraction method of the image processing system, the image retrieving system. We shall split the images. I shall present the object recognition, the menu of my app, some recognized objects, the hidden menu of my app, and some conclusions. This is somehow a computer brain type of app. So the user takes a picture of any object and the mobile phone tries to recognize it. Even if the object wasn't seen before by the camera of the mobile phone, or it's not present in the database, in other words. It's this matching system. It's quite complex. Of course, when taking more pictures, the neural network will be more trained and will work more accurate. But even in the beginning, the system could really make a difference between, let's say, a chair or a table, even though both of them had 4 legs. The extraction method, so we shall have a database with some image data sets. We shall extract some features, and we shall store in another database the features. And the image retriever system is, we submit the image recognized. So take the picture, extract the features of this picture, compare these features with the features stored from the database, sort the results from relevancy, and display the results. So the first one will be the more relevant and will recognize the picture. So the method how to split the image, this is quite a good idea, because to have speed in image processing, we need to have less pixels. So nowadays the cameras make big resolution images. So besides reducing resolution, which is not the best idea, we can extract some features and initially compare with the fifth region, because normally when a user creates a picture of an object, usually it's in the middle of the image. So the most relevant part is in the center. In case we have errors and recognition problems, then we can use the other regions too. This is the actual print screen of the app from Android phone. And you can see we have the tomato, which was recognized, and it's written down here with the toast message, tomato. And also because this paper was entitled, and this work was entitled for visually impaired peoples, this text is also read by text-to-speech system. So the tomato will be read loud by the phone. So it won't be on written tomato, it will say the phone tomato. Also other controls of the app, which is quite simple. So the name of the app, the menu, 3 buttons, the flashlight on off, and rotating the camera in case you want to use other cameras, frontal or back camera of the phone. This is the menu of the app. So we can deactivate the speech in case we don't want to read the recognized word, don't want to read tomato. Then we can deactivate the speech, and it will only display the text. And we have also a menu scans, where we shall store all our scans. And it can be seen in this list. And all the scans that were done are saved in this list in order to store all the recognized objects. And if we long press on one of the items, which is a hidden menu, we can search them on the internet, so buy online, or copy the string, or delete the string from the list. So this part was done similarly like the bar scanner apps. Then we go to a store, we scan all the barcodes, and then we would like to buy them online or search them on Google. But of course, this system it's easier because you don't need to search for the barcode of the product. You just make a picture of the product, and hopefully many times it will be recognized, and it will be saved in your list. As a conclusion, this work was focused some sort of artificial intelligence to create some sort of a robotic brain, but using a mobile phone. Also, it was created for visually impaired people or kids who want to learn objects. I didn't say it before, but also the picture or the camera can be triggered with voice command. So you can say, let's say, what is that object? The system will recognize, or we can press the camera button and the object is taken a picture, and it will recognize, and it will be written as a toast message on the screen of the mobile phone. And also, it will be read loud by the system after it will be recognized. The object, how it works, so it's taken on a photo on object, and this object is compared with other pictures, and each picture has of course has a picture name, a string of the name of the picture, and the system, when it finds a match on an existing picture, it extracts the name of the picture, so the string of the name of the picture, and that is shown on the screen. Of course, the string is curated, so all the special underscore, hippens, and numbers are extracted spaces in order to have a clear word like tomato or potato or some object that is recognized. It's really interesting that the system works even even if the object wasn't seen before by the system, because the system won't use only some own images that are saved. It uses also all the pictures from the Google Images, so all the pictures from the web, and tries to compare the taken picture with the pictures on the web, and it will find a match. So even though I have a glass of water which was never seen by the system, it will be recognized. And as I said, this app is very useful for kids, for learning objects, to use by the barcode scanner as a barcode scanner, or to use by visually impaired people which want to see what object is in front of them. Based on the fact that the image recognition can be triggered by voice and can be read loud by the system. Also has this system to buy products from the internet, in order if I see a very interesting item somewhere and I want to see where I can buy it, then I can take a picture of it, and I can have a place to acquire it. Of course, further enhancements will be to actually implement the system in a robotic system, and for this it won't be placed, the mobile phone in a robot. It will be converted in a Raspberry Pi, an FPGA board with the zinc system on a chip, because it's easier to implement, to put inside the robot the Raspberry Pi than a mobile phone. Of course, the mobile phone also, it's not really hard, but it will be too expensive to put a mobile phone inside a robotic system. Some selected references, and I would like to thank you for your attention.
Excellent. Very nice, Roland. The presentation is quite wonderful, and the work is very interesting, in fact. And is this app available on Play Store?
Yes.
Yeah. How to
It's called. It can be seen. The name of the app, MIAZ.
Oh, MIAG. Okay. Okay. So I have a question for you. So when you are actually extracting the features of an image, what are the specific features you're actually considering when you are extracting the features of any image?
So actually, I'm extracting only a part of the picture, and this part of the picture, it's compared with existing pictures, pixel by pixel, and it
So
will.
you are comparing pixel by pixel, or are you comparing the edges, or are you comparing the shape or the texture?
No, it's compared pixel by pixel.
Okay. So if there are any questions further to ask Roland, it's an interesting work. The participants can go ahead and asking any questions. Hope everyone is following the presentations here.
Yes. So if anyone has any question, you can put into the chat box. So we move ahead with our next presentation, and I will request Roland to put app information into the chat. So if anybody wants to download, they can download from that. So we move ahead
Okay.
with our next presentation. So for that, I would like to invite Kathia Banu to present a paper on Indian rural students' e-learning behavior using structural equation modeling, a novel approach. Yes, now you can share your presentation.
Yes. Yes, I'm ready. Just give
Yes,
me a
please.
moment. Yeah. Opportunity for about Indian students e-learning behavior. I'm the business guide for solution. We based at Chennai. Myself and my friends, Dr.
Sorry,
and Dr. Umar,
just a moment, just a
shared this
moment.
work.
Hello.
Yes, I would like to continue. Yeah,
Hello.
please.
Yes,
Yes.
your voice is not audible. So might be there is an issue of a bandwidth. So you can stop your video. So not screen sharing, your video, and you can go ahead with the audio only and the presentation.
Yeah, madam, you can share your screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess my voice audible to you now?
Yes. Now it is perfect. Please go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. And as I said, like I'm Dr. Karthia. I'm heading the company called Inspire. We based at Chennai. We had a very great interesting about how to empower the rural students in India. So that is the whole idea about. That's the reason we started doing the work on how we can find out the e-learning behavior of rural students. And we have made a survey, and we have implemented using a structural equation model. Fine. So here, so what we are going to deal with, like even we are in the online era, not all the students are online learners, because in India we have most practice only, like like teacher writing in the blackboard or whiteboard and students are listening. That is the actual practice. Still, it is going on in rural area as well as urban area or semi-urban, whatever maybe. But it's totally, um, it's a high time to decide to get an e-learning. This work we started before the COVID pandemic, but still we understand now the importance of e-learning. It's helpful now. Okay, so therefore, what work we decided is we thought of taking advantage over how and school, college, and educations, how e-learning is helping the students. That too, not only for the urban area, but how we can help it out for the rural students. That's the reason we developed a question. Uh, like how the students internet learning behavior is. If they have a proper usage of internet only, we can understand that whether we can go like promote the e-learning content if they have a proper usage of internet. How it influences the e-learning behavior also, we started doing the research, and we have implemented about the multivariate statistical evaluation method. We have applied that I would like to discuss here. And we made a literature survey around the past 10 years papers we have analyzed. And we found that most of the papers, they discussed about the traditional way of teaching methods. And some people have described about how the female students are not showing interest compared to the male students using an internet. That are some interesting things and all we have come across. After that, we found that in learning of traditional approach, that is something like the teacher is teaching, the trainer or teacher is teaching, all the people are sitting and listening in the class. Obviously, it is happening in India. In abroad, it is already in practice for so many years. It's a practice of online learning. But it slowly only we are practicing online learning here. That too, especially in rural India, that is entirely different. Okay, so after the we started thinking of what will happen. The the faculty, they are contributing their time, experience, everything with the students, their knowledge, energy, everything. What will happen after the life of a faculty? My God, we cannot imagine. The great brain works behind, the knowledge transfer. What guarantee? Then we thought, okay, e-learning is a great idea. We can have a research pattern or invention. So which will be totally helpful. We can record and transfer the knowledge. Even the Zoom meeting, what we are doing, it is recorded now. Okay, right. So that's a reason we found that e-learning solution. But how we can take to the person, whether the people are willing to take into account, that is a biggest question mark. That's the reason, like we were explaining the pros and cons of e-learning to the students. We educated them, and we framed the questionnaire after that. How we are able to help it out, like that we were educating them to the rural people. We have visited, we have took sample around 300 people from the rural background. And we were explaining that how wide accessibility and remote learning, and compared to a normal learning, it is cheaper than the other learning. And effective energy usage also. You cannot sit throughout the day, but you can, whenever you want to learn, you can open an internet and you can learn the content. But still, they should know the content is available based on their requirement. Okay, the framework what we developed is, first of all, the system has to understand the pre-knowledge what is required to cope up with the subject. That only we have discussed first. So because if I'm going to work with standard, or because we focus only a college student, but what is a prerequisite here is at least he would have completed +2 education, or if you go for the college education, or he could have completed diploma or anything. Then only they can understand the content. Okay, that's the way we plan, but we plan to move to a school content also. But school content are more popular e-learning content. But the college students know it is a pretty question mark here. And most, if you compare, I'm basically a doctorate in computer science, that too my core area is data mining. I found out of my research that there are more technical stuff is not available as a e-learning content. We could see even some English tutorials are available. I could see that too. It is not from India. That is from different parts of the world. But we have a idea that we don't really take our idea and technical stuff to even a layman can understand. Like that is the reason we have developed this model. And even it's a one interesting fact about this framework is, I would like to tell you, because a learning behavior, it not only includes the subject what they learned, but it is depends on the attitude what they are bringing in. Why attitude? We have developed a model called ask model. You might have come across this. Attitude, skill, and knowledge. That also plays a crucial role on their learning style. So even though one surprising thing we found out from our researchers, the blood group of a people also determine their learning habit. O positive or A positive people have a different way of learning attitude. And there are many ideas have been derived out of that. And we found certain challenges also in this kind of learning work. And that is implementation that the study design while we are making. How we can make the e-learning content, and what is the methodology is followed from universal way, and how effective it is, we could be not sure, and how effectively we can gain the result, and what is based on the knowledge thirst of a learner. Based on that, otherwise it can be utterly a failure. It's not like audio, quiz, slides, so many. What much more is there while creating this? Okay, this we need a story building, the duration, and animation, the small range scopes also. What is a and mathematical and what is the expectation out of this? Because we need some SME, that is subject matter experts. We need to prepare a content. Being an I'm from a corporate, that's a reason like how much we struggle a lot to find out the audience perspective, and also the how knowledge exchange can be done, the knowledge sharing, how much the people are able to accept. Because if you keep on learning for a online, what will happen is like people may not getting an interest, they may be losing interest because keep on watching the monitor. Okay, and we have to create a self-regulated learning also. That is also there. How he can use it should be a network bandwidth. See here also I have found a disturbance in an unstable network. So if we prepare a content anytime when the network is available, he can view. That is a possibility, but still there is a drawback also there. Let me discuss on that part also. So we made a study design which the student expected, and what is their capability, what they are able to adapt, whether they have a facility to adapt, and what is their current learning behavior, whether they have a possibility of using an internet or only focus on textbook, or some people are in most of the time they'll complete the syllabus in the previous night of exam only. Okay, not habituated readers, only the exams, and they'll mug up and vomit in the exam. That's it. Okay, so some then the current learning behavior, what is that? Some certain type of questions we have made, and internet usage, and how they are aware of their learning skill. That also we were discussing about that. And we chosen the structural equation model, which is really helping us to find out the statistical way of approaching a fitting model, whether we are going in the right direction. We want to find out. That's the reason we have chosen SEM module, which we can get an outcome of predicted variable or discrete variables and all. We have applied in Amos model. We got the path diagram as a result. So I'm going to describe this is a mathematical model that we have developed, and the results are discussed here from observed variable. We got the result with the
Okay,
experience. How the
sorry, but
yeah.
please conclude in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to conclude. It's
Thank
a
you.
final slide only.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, that experience, we got this result, and what is the prediction model? So the best thing, the p-value, what we have received is which is greater than 0.05, which is accepted by the statistic people, because from the table we can understand that it is 0.075, which we have received, which is greater than the 0.05. Therefore, obviously, it's a perfect fit for us. So that's the reason we got achieved than what we planned to take into a content to a rural people. So this positive sign, the model fits perfectly. And even the SEM also have limitation. That's the reason we are planning to move. We are going to implement the next tool. We are planning to use our language. Okay. Sometimes the lack of clarity also there. That's the reason we are moving out. The conclusion here is, it is basically, collaborative learning is a method we can adapt. But the teachers, there is a greater challenge. They have to prepare a content. They have to do additional work to complete the task. Because it may be, a lot of work compared to the regular traditional method. You have to prepare and they want to complete. Wow, it's a great work. The future planning is we plan for IT framework, and as well as we want to plan for the language, the multi-language in the e-learning framework. Especially we have target audience are e-learning, that is rural people, and we are seeking the DST also to sponsor us to create this framework, to create a new opportunity for Indian rural students. And thank you very much for your patience listening. These are all few references. Thank you, sir. Is there any questions you can ask me? I'm ready to answer.
Yeah, very good job, madam. Actually,
Thank you, sir.
related to the social work and what your work, and highly appreciable. In fact, when you focus on rural education, did you do any case studies on a specific rural area thing? What kind of
Actually,
information you
yes, sir. Actually, I started my career as a professor only. I worked in a college which was in a rural background, that too in the outskirts of Chennai. We found that some people are not even know to use a smartphone. That kind of problem also they have. So we have made few studies, and it's a year-long work, sir, actually, to get into a knowledge about that. And we know different ideas we have formed, which tutorials we want to make. I told about the blood group also we were taking
you
it.
made a very important point.
Yes,
Based
sir.
on the blood group,
Yes.
you made some study that
Yes,
based on
sir. Yes, sir.
the behavior and the
Yeah.
learning process depends on.
Actually, sir, the learners are related. They are like a director. So some people know they fond of listening, like what we do in online. Some people fond of, they won't study for the exam. They listen to the friend and they will get marks in the exam. Some people. Some people they listen to the class. Some people they never come to the class. Okay, the different category, and based on the blood group also. This is not included here, but this interesting study also we made it, and we found that no female students are much not much interested in e-learning content. These guys are want to listen to the teacher only. That the physical presence of a teacher, not in virtual learning, because the guys are most fond of doing. Even I have seen more male presenter here, fond of doing many app development, but female students are more focused on theoretical. Even I'm a female, but still exceptions are always there.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for patience listening.
Yeah, what to me here?
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, Dr. Kathria Banu. So we move ahead with our next presentation.
I'll stop
Uh,
sharing the screen.
yes, please.
Thank you.
So we move ahead with our next presentation. It will be by Prathamesh, uh, and he will present a paper on contextual chatbot for healthcare purposes.
Yep.
Yes,
Hello,
Prathamesh.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Can you view the screen? Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Mihir sir, can you view the screen?
yes, we can hear. Please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So, hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm Prathamesh Kandpal, and the topic for today, which we are presenting, the research work which we have done on, is contextual chatbot for healthcare purposes using deep learning. And basically, what we are targeting at in healthcare purposes, we are targeting at the diagnostics part, that how chatbot can help in giving the diagnosis to a patient who is using this kind of technology. So we actually come from Vishwakarma Institute of Technology. We belong to the Department of Electronics and Telecommunication. And with the guidance of our professor, Dr. Siddharth Burge, we have done this work. And my fellow colleagues are Kapil Jasnani and Ritesh Rao. So let's begin. So in content, we are actually going to focus about the introductory part about what are chatbots, different types of chatbots, and further we will be talking about the relevant work which is done by many companies, as well as means many big tech giants, as well as certain research organizations and certain startups. So we have not listed all the research work. All the research work has been listed in the research paper. I've just listed the four major kind of related work in this domain, and then talking about why healthcare, our approach for this project, and the future of bots, and for the conclusion. So to start with the introductory part, I would like to discuss about what are chatbots. So chatbot are basically software applications which help in stimulating human-like conversations these conversations can be either via chats or text based, or they can be voice based, and it's a service backed by rules. In some cases there is also artificial intelligence, which we can see nowadays. Most of the chatbots or most of the technologies, we are saying many technologies are having these implementations. The bot is made capable for conversing on varied platforms of communications. So nowadays people are communicating on WhatsApp, on Facebook, so many messenger platforms we can see. Now further, like why chatbots, as we can see, the demand in machine learning and AI is growing, and new technologies will keep coming in the market, which will impact our day-to-day activities. A research was conducted by Gartner back in 2017, and this research says that by the end of 2020, 25% of consumer services and support operations will be done via virtual customer assistant, which we can say as chatbots, or we can say Siri or Google Assistant, such kind of things. And also, it also predicted that 70% reduction will be done human to human contact via email or SMS or call, and everything will be handled by bots. So now, further speaking about the evolution of chatbots, chatbots have evolved from being menu slash button based. Earlier we used to click on certain buttons, and then the further queries used to come, and then we used to click. Then there was keyword recognition, and further, which recent advancements which have been done, that is contextual based. In contextual based, we just type the question, and the user just types the question, and the system gives the response, just like simply like we are chatting. So the quality of user experience has increased, but the thing is the technology is a bit difficult, because it is just advanced in recent years, and it needs more and more research work, and more people are supposed to learn this, because it is not something which is easy to grasp. There are various things which are involved in this. And further, about this paper, we have discussed about the challenges, the future scope of chatbots, and the relevant work, and what was our approach in this contribution. So first, I would like to start with the relevant work. So relevant work, we have discussed about Google's Dialogflow, which uses virtual agents. In these virtual agents, there are various intent files, and in these intent files, there are training phases, action, and parameters. And once the correct intent is found inside the system, the system, which means the Google Dialogflow, it returns the accurate response. Google Dialogflow is actually a part of Google Cloud. We all know what Google Cloud is. Google Cloud is basically responsible for database management, machine learning applications, and cloud computing. This technology, Google's Dialogflow, and many other related work, they use a very new technology, which is NLU, which means natural language understanding. Natural language understanding is just like NLP, natural language processing, but it goes a bit further, because in this NLU, we are actually using sentiment analysis, accents of various people, summarization, and also understanding the questions which the system has never been trained before. You know, and then there is Amazon Lex. Amazon Lex is just like Google's Dialogflow. The work pattern and everything is similar. Already the patterns are trained. We just need to follow the instructions which are given by the system. But the only difference is AWS also uses some other technologies which are better than Dialogflow, and one of them is SLU, which is a speech language understanding. In speech language understanding, what it does is it takes the input, finds the true meaning, and fulfills user purposes by invoking applicable business actions. Now, Amazon is powered by pre-built integration with AWS Lambda, which provides bot access to pre-built serverless enterprises to link data in SaaS applications like Salesforce, HubSpot, or Marketo. And then there is further Azure Bot. Azure Bot is a bit complex as compared to Dialogflow and Amazon Lex, because developers can use this Microsoft's Azure Bot service. And for using this service, we have to basically know the languages like Python, JavaScript, .NET, and C Hash. Means whichever we are trained well, we can use it for that. Sometimes intents are pre-built, and sometimes even the projects are pre-built. Like when we were actually researching for this healthcare purpose, we came across a bot service which was specially designed for healthcare purpose. So inside that, it was actually basically keyword based and menu and button based. So Azure Bot also has that kind of service, and these various research, various business applications which are being conducted by these big companies. These can be integrated on various channels. Like in Google's Dialogflow, we can integrate it with Car or with Google Home or with any other channel of communication, like Azure Bot, that can be also integrated with Skype or Messenger or normal SMS. or also Slack. And the further is like IBM Watson. This uses a dialogue skill. It basically takes the input, searches the dialogue relevant skill, and finds the relevant response and returns the relevant response. These are basically the architectural representations of the related work, which has happened in this domain. And IBM Watson is praised for ease of use and also for its user experience. So any business person or any developer who's not having any past experience in development, they can use these platforms, to easily integrate it with their, business needs. So now, why healthcare and the role of healthcare in our lives? We can see that in the past 50 years, how healthcare has changed. It has changed a lot, or even 100 years. Earlier, what people used to do, people used to visit the clinic, medical clinic, or their personal doctor and get to know what kind of symptoms or diseases they are facing. And then, even if the doctor is not available, they still have to go and see whether the doctor is available. But in today's day, we call the clinic and we book an appointment, and then the next day or on that day, we fix our appointment and then we go to the doctor to, check up for our health checkup and what all problems we are facing. And then how technology has impacted, we will see that right now also chatbots are coming in. There is robotics which is playing a big part in this, and also there are, computers are being used in hospitals and in medical clinics, to ensure what kind of to make the database or to make the directory of all the patients who have visited and what were the prescriptions, the history, and the details, and various other things. So, and also the purpose of taking such kind of tasks was basically to understand the healthcare part, that how technology can, help the healthcare industry, and also this new technology which is coming nowadays. And in such pandemic situation, we can see that technology is playing a big part. Various countries are having apps which are specifically designed for coronavirus. Like in India, there is Arogya Setu app. In that app, you can know where are the containment zones, how many cases are there around you, and you can also check for the symptoms. Like if you are having any symptom, you can check how serious it is or whether you should visit a doctor or not. So just I'm giving an example, and then further, these are some of diseases which we have covered, like gastrointestinal diseases or ear and nose or diseases, or nutritional disorder or obstetrical diseases and conditions, and also respiratory. So basically, I will talk about what was our approach in this. The first thing which we had done was, loading the JSON data. Uh, so in loading the JSON data was actually, we had made a JSON file in which we had created comments, comments like hi, hello, and created certain tags, important tags, and inside these tags we will be having patterns and responses, accurate patterns for accurate responses for any kind of pattern. So let's say if I just say hi, so the response would be hello, or hey, what is it? How are you going? How can I help you? And the hi can be related to other things like hi, hello, what's up. So these are the similar kind of patterns, and it relates to a tag which is greeting. So in this JSON data, we have created all the comments, necessary comments which are needed. And then there is a main.python file in which we are extracting this data. We are doing the tokenization process, means separating the sentences into individual words, and then we are removing the stopping words, like unnecessary words like a, is, that, for. So these are unnecessary words. These don't hold any kind of meaning. So we have removed those words. And then there was word stemming. Word stemming, for stemming process, we have used Lancaster stemmer process. What it does is basically like if there is a word like traveling. So traveling, traveled, these two words, these can have a root word which is travel. So we are extracting the root word because it helps in further training, faster training, and also it increases the speed, it increases the efficiency of the model. And then there was a concept of bag of words, means we are basically in bag of words, what we are doing is we are converting these words into numbers. The sentences are converted into numbers, and in a certain set of numbers, in a certain set of pattern, to actually predict what kind of response should be given to a particular kind of comment or particular kind of input. And then we were developing a model. For developing a model, we have used basic neural network. We have used two hidden layers, and we are basically running it for 1,000 times. 1,000 times we have trained that particular model. And inside this model, we were having the epoch size was 8. Oh, sorry, batch size was 8, which basically means while training 8 a set of intents will be taken and trained. And then after creating the training and saving the model, we are loading the model, we are testing the model and seeing whether we are getting the accurate responses to our queries. Then further, we have done downloading the important packages, like we have used NLTK, we have used TensorFlow, we have used TF-Learn, and many more important packages have been used in relevant Python version. For this, we have used Python 3.6 because certain packages of NumPy and TensorFlow were not compatible. So Python 3.6 was the one which was compatible with both of the packages which we were installing. Then further, creating JSON file, which we have already discussed, and then setting the threshold for eliminating irrelevant questions and word of user inputs.
Sorry,
So there are
Prathamesh. Sorry, but please try to conclude in 2 minutes.
okay.
Yeah,
So
thank
basically,
you.
also we have setting the threshold so that to let's say 70%, if the probability is below 70%, we are eliminating those words and we are moving forward. And then further, there is a this chatbot is just an attempt to let users understand the symptoms they are facing, and to give a basic diagnosis. We are not giving the accurate diagnosis. For accurate diagnosis, a user must visit a doctor because these things are still under development and it needs further validation from government agencies also. Because a chatbot which is being responsible for giving medication or something to a patient is something for bigger scale. So these are still under development, and a user should definitely visit a doctor in today's day and age. Maybe after 30 or 40 years, machines will only be responsible for doing everything, and that's it. Major benefit of using chatbot is basically it increases the efficiency, and there is also a lot of time saving, and it also increases the management part of the hospital organizations, the medical organizations, we can say healthcare organizations. And further, this is the result. First, the user inputs hi, and then the response is hello. What is your name? My name is healthcare chatbot. So, what do you do? I would please to assist on your healthcare diagnosis. So, this is basically how it converses with the user. And we can say in the third last line, like when it prints, when the user says D N K C I N W C, it says that I don't get it. Please try again. Thank you. It basically means that whenever an irrelevant response is asked to the bot, it basically returns this query, maybe another query. So this is how it has been trained. And now, future of bots, I would like to say that virtual assistants like chatbots are already making a lot of contribution in the market. We can see that currently around 5.2 billion users are there on smartphone and 4.5 billion internet users, with 3.8 smartphone users which are who are using social media platforms. So we can see that how greater impact it can create once businesses start integrating their virtual assistants on platforms like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, which is used widely around the globe. Many people are using it. And as businesses keep getting in the market, the demand for bot will keep increasing, and big enterprises and startups are also looking to improve their frontier virtual assistants. So also like Satya Nadella once said in an interview of Microsoft that they are also aiming to build a virtual assistant which can predict users' input in future. It will use Cortana as a tool, and Cortana will be able to read the emails and SMSs of its users. So the point comes again about user privacy and data security. So even if the Cortana is able to read, it is just using it for enhancing the user experience and not for any illegal activities. That data will be only with the user. This data will be used to enhance the user experience part. And also currently implementing technologies like NLU and deep learning are still in the early stages. So once as the time progresses, we will see more and more advancements in these domains. And further, I would like to talk about the challenges and limitations. First is like the time-consuming scenarios. If the chatbot doesn't get an accurate response, it will take time to find, and the user can quit the chatbot and personal give a call to the customer service agent and get to verify the query. And then again, there is weak memory and storage processing. Many a times, like let's say if we are booking a flight ticket, so booking a flight ticket, we sometimes drop in between, or there is a connection issue. The chatbot should be able to store the past information which we have input, like our name or the flight name or the date of travel, or the price and everything. So it should be able to store the previous data. Right now it is not able. So that is again a challenge. And then higher cost installation, complex interfaces, less decision making. And further conclusion, so working on chatbot has given us a brief exposure to domain of virtual assistantship, and it's shaping our lives. And this is the conclusion further. I think I've taken a lot of time
Yeah,
and explained a lot of things. I'm sorry for that. So yeah, this is the conclusion part. Basically about how industry will adapt these further technologies and how it will change and what all things will happen in future. These are some of the key references. There are over 30 references which we have used, but these are some of the 5, 6 references which I found the key references. So thank you. And
Okay, thank you. Yes, Dr. Stephen, you have any question with Prathamesh?
Yeah, in fact, no, but I have a point to share for the remaining people because so see, focus on your contribution more because we are running out of time and we have less time. So hopefully you would understand that point. And it's a really good presentation and you have done really good work, but we would like to listen to your contribution more. So it would be nice if you could focus more on your contributions rather than more on the introductory part and general points, right? Thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prathamesh. So if anyone has any question, please write into the chat box. So we are moving ahead towards our next presentation. The paper title is uh, Data Encryption and Aggregation Using Voronoi Diagram for Wireless Sensor Networks. Uh, yes, please share the presentation. Yes,
Yes, screen is visible.
yes, it's visible.
Yeah, thank you. Hi everyone, greetings for today. I'm Reshma, research scholar of VTU RRC Belgaum. I'm pursuing PhD under the guidance of Dr. Shaila K and Dr. Venugopal KR. So today I'm here with presenting the AVD protocol, which is a data encryption and aggregation using Voronoi diagram for wireless sensor networks. So first, let's talk about the abstract of our work. Generally, we know that most of the application has been designed with the sensor nodes, but these sensor nodes are resource constrained limit parameters. So our research, we are motivated to do research on wireless sensor networks, and we are focusing on the challenges that are security and energy utilization. DAVD protocol has been designed to provide the security for the data aggregation and minimizing the energy utilization for data transmission. For this purpose, we have used the data compression technique for minimizing the uh, minimizing the data size during the data transmission, and we have used the Voronoi in a diagram concept for to provide the security for aggregated data. So the AVD protocol, it achieves the better energy utilization and provides the security for the data. So we have research issues. Have we found the research issues like this? Firstly, we obtain the efficient data aggregator node to aggregate the data. Then we need to identify efficient methodology to provide a proper security for the aggregated data to avoid the data to the intruder. Then we need to evaluate the algorithm that we have designed with the existing protocols with respect to the parameter delay, data availability, and nodes lifetime. So based on this research issue, we found nodes capable of sensing a multiple data, and there is a chance of sensing a redundant data. And most of the data are elevated to malicious node. So because of this, it increases the energy utilization in the network that leads to a network disconnectivity and decreases the packet delivery ratio. So we focus on these two parameters, means eliminating the redundant data and to provide the security. So the main objective of our work is to utilize the energy of the network efficiently and to maximize the packet delivery ratio. So this is our system model of DAVD protocol. So this consists of mainly three phases. One is Voronoi encryption phase, aggregation phase, and Voronoi decryption phase. Generally, source node senses the data and will be transmitted towards the cluster head, and cluster head is a responsible of aggregating the data and forwards to the base station. So cluster head here, it performs the Voronoi encryption process. First, it levels the data to convert the sensed data into digital statistics, and then this AECF algorithm, that is alpha encoding compression function, which compresses the data to minimum number of data size, and it encrypts the data. Then for encryption purpose, we are using the Voronoi diagram concept. In that, we have taken a number of vertices formula for encryption for decryption purpose, and finally we are using the graph equation to obtain the public key for decrypting the data that we'll be discussing in during the process. So now in this phase, we are converting the data into digital statistics, and we are compressing it to a minimum number of data, and we are encrypting the data using the number of vertices in Voronoi diagram concept in Voronoi diagram, and then finally the cluster head will aggregates the data using the XR logic that helps to uh, minimize the redundant data. Then the data is forwarded to the sink. Then sink is responsible for decryption process. Here, as I said, it uses the number of edges as the secret key for decrypting the data. Then alpha decoding compression function, it decodes the data, and it uses the leveling concept. So this leveling concept which will be used to obtain the original temperature that has been sensed from the sensor node. So now this is the example architecture of the protocol. In this example architecture, we have a three clusters, and each cluster is having a 5 sensor nodes, and this 32, 33, 34, 35, these are the data that has been sensed by the sensor nodes. These are the temperature range. Actually, for this protocol, have considered the application in such a way that the temperature has to detect from temperature range has to be selected between 30 to 35. If anything else, that will be considered as outlier and it will be removed. So only we require the temperature range between 30 to 35. And these two routing table is the basic information that we require to understand the DAVD protocol process that will be discussed in the next slide. So here, this in the source node routing table, the main information that we are storing is node ID, cluster ID, cluster head, residual energy, and public key. And this 2n minus 5 is the number of vertices formula in the Voronoi diagram that I have used it for public key, used it as a public key. Then base station routing table will be having base station node ID, residual energy, and secret key. This secret key I have used as a number of edges in a Voronoi diagram. These are the two formulas that plays a major role in our protocol to provide a security for the aggregated data. This is the data process of DAVD protocol. First phase is Voronoi encryption phase. In this first step, we are leveling it. So for leveling it, we are considering, as I said, we are considering the temperature range between 30 to 35. Means the value that we are considering is 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. And this decimal value we are not considering for the encryption process. So we are leveling it for a digital statistics. So first we are taking a mod of the value. For example, if we have a temperature range as 34 degree, if the sensor node senses the temperature 34 degree, then we are taking a mod of 30, the remainder is 4. So we are maintaining this format to maintain the encoded data. So we are having a 5 index here, 5 index, because we'll be maintaining a temperature range for 5 index, that is 31, 32, 33, and we are taking a reminder for it. We are not storing it like 31, 32. We are taking in the form of 5 index like this. Then one is padded. So since the temperature sensed is 34, that if you take a mod 30, it is 4. So we need to pad one in the index value of 4, and the remaining value index will be padded with the zeros. This is how we have a encoded data format. Once the data has been encoded, we are using a uh, encoding format like this, that is alpha 0. This is an alpha compression function. We are using alpha. That alpha has been calculated like this, that is phi minus pos. That is phi minus pos. Phi is the number of indexes, pos is the position that is marked here. So phi minus the position of the index is 4, that is phi minus 4 is 1. So now the alpha value is 1, that is uh, combined with the 0. So encoded data of node I is 1 0. So the encoded value is 1 0. So 34 as encoded as 1 0. So next, in the next phase, we are doing the encryption, and that encrypted data is added with the encoded value. So this is the public key. So here I will be considered as the number of vertices, number of nodes present in our cluster. So here, for example, in the example that I have taken, I have a 5 nodes in the cluster. So 2 multiplied with 5, so we'll get 10 minus of 5. So I got the value as 5. So that 5 is added with the encoded value, that is 1 0. So I got the final encrypted value as 15. So 34 as encrypted as 15. So this will be aggregated using the XOR logic in the data aggregation phase, and then forwards to the sink or a base station. Then in this, once the data has received in the sink or the base station, it is responsible for decryption process, and base station, it's having a vSecret key in the routing table, and that will be used to evaluate or derive the public key. So this is the general equation for the graph, Voronoi graph, that is 2v plus n minus 2 is equal to 3e. So in the place of v, I use the public key. In the place of e, I use the secret key. So v is nothing but vertices, e is nothing but edges. So using this, I have derived the public key like this. So once we derived, we got the public key, that is 2n minus 5. So n is 5. So 2 into 5, 10 minus 5, I got the value 5. So the aggregated data is 15. So this, while decryption, we need to use the subtraction function. So 15 minus 5 is 10. So now after the decryption, the data is 10. Then we need to decompress the data using the same concept, that is alpha 0. But the only thing is, we need to obtain the position now. We need to just substitute the alpha value for the equation that we use to encode purpose. So position we need to obtain by using the alpha value, that is position is equal to 5 minus of alpha. Alpha value is 1. So 5 minus of 1 is 4. So now that value we need to take, and that will be added with the 30. Since during the
Um,
leveling phase,
Hello, Reshma. Sorry to interrupt, but please try to conclude it within two
yes,
minutes.
another
Thank
2
you.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
maximum.
Yeah, thank you. So next of during the leveling phase, I have used the value 30 and 30 mod. Now we need to add with the 30 to obtain the original temperature. For 4, if we had the value 30, we'll get the value 34. So 34 degrees centigrade is the original data that has been sensed by the sensor node. Then this protocol I have implemented using the NS2 simulator with the topology of 1000 square meter, and we have simulated the testing for different set of nodes from 50 to 300 nodes, and we have obtained the result for communication cost, packet delivery ratio, and energy utilization. For the communication cost, we have compared with the existing protocol, that is MODA. Actually, in this protocol, it compresses the data for 3 bits, but we have compressed the data for 2 bits. That reduces the energy utilization required for data transmission. That's why we have achieved the 35% of improvement over the MODA in terms of communication cost, and we achieved the maximum packet delivery ratio compared with the MODA algorithm. And since for the lesser number of data transmission, energy has been balanced in the network, and that is compared with the MODA protocol, and achieved 39% improvement over the MODA protocol. So finally, I will conclude my protocol that since sensor nodes are the limited resource constraint parameter, we have focused on the security and energy parameter. During in DAVD protocol, the data compression function that used to minimize the energy utilization for data transmission, and Warren encryption and decryption technique that helps to maximize the packet delivery ratio. And our protocol has been evaluated with the comparison of the existing protocol MODA and achieves the better implement over the existing protocol. And these are the references that have referred to design our protocol. And thank you. Question.
Nice, very nice work. In fact, congratulate you. Did you
Thank you.
compare this work with any other protocol apart from MODA? Why you opted only MODA as a measure?
Actually, MODA protocol, they are designed in this way. They are level the data and they compress the data with for the 3 bits. So that motivates me to take up that protocol and to use that protocol for the extension.
Okay, good. So if anyone have any questions, they can ask, or as Mihir has been suggesting, you can put it in the chat also, so that those questions can be cleared. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
So
you. Thank you, sir. Thank
yes,
you,
thank you,
everyone.
Resma. So we move ahead with our next presentation. Our next presentation will be by M.R. Sarma. Uh, yes, he will present a paper on resettlement problems of ex-servicemen in India, a critical study. Yes, Mr. Sarma, you have the right. You can share your presentation. Hello, Mr. Sarma. Can you please share your slide? Hello, Mr. Sarma. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Yes, please. Yes, please share your presentation.
Can you see my screen?
No, not right now.
Loaded it. Somehow I'm unable to, make it visible to all.
Okay. Can you try again from the share screen? You can.
I'm not getting the share screen button.
Okay. So you are logged in from the mobile or laptop?
No laptop.
Okay. So in the bottom there is a green symbol of share
Yeah.
screen.
Yes, it is there, but I was getting it when all others were giving presentations.
Okay, no problem. So what I will do, you just connect again. We will take a presentation in the last. So might
I can
be
see you. Yeah, yes, I got it.
okay.
Can you see my screen?
Uh,
No.
no, sir. No, sir.
I shared the screen.
Okay, but it's not visible. Yes, now it is visible.
Now
You
you
can.
can see, no?
Yes. Please proceed.
Okay, good afternoon to everybody. I'm Commander Sharma, retired officer from Indian Navy, and my topic of presentation is resettlement problems of ex-servicemen in India. It's a critical study. I can assure you, after having a heavy dose of complex technology, this is going to be easier 15 minutes for you. And I'm very sure that you are going to understand what I'm trying to tell you. The contents of my presentation are introduction, objectives, resettlement definition, methodology, findings, and analysis. Then we'll have conclusion, recommendations, and finally the discussions. Introduction is the armed forces require young soldiers to win war who are physically strong, can withstand physical hardships in all terrains, face prolonged deprivations, and to achieve that, the soldiers who become older, 60,000 of them per year are retired, and an equal or more number are admitted into the services. Now these soldiers retire at such a time when they have maximum responsibilities to shoulder, like children education, making house, finding jobs at that age, and looking after their parents, and all social obligation as applicable in India. Now the argument is the soldier retire in the interest of state. So the state should also take responsibility for their resettlement after they are retired from services, Army, Navy, Air Force. Governments are responsible for resettlement of ESM, and they have formulated various schemes and policies in the form of job reservation, self-employment schemes. But studies have found that these agencies were not effective and of little use to ESM, and ESM also did not get required institutional support to resettle themselves, and measures are not satisfactory. Now, the relevance of this study, we owe it to soldiers. We owe it to them. For that, I'll give a quote of Abraham Lincoln, which he said in 1863 amongst the American Civil War. For it has been said, all that a man hath will he give for his life. And while all contribute of their substance, the soldier puts his life at stake and often yields it up in his country's interest. Now, young soldier, when they join services, they embrace spirit of unselfish service. They are prepared to go anywhere. They are wholly committed to the task assigned to them, and sometimes in achieving their goal, they sacrifice their lives also. Now, in response to such a sacrifices by the soldiers, the state and society have a duty to ensure that they do not face hardship as a result of being in military service. Plus, effective resettlement of ex-servicemen is essential to keep up the morale of the serving soldiers and also to attract talented youth into the armed forces. Now, objectives of the study are investigate resettlement problems of ex-servicemen and determine their resettlement status, identify and examine the factors helpful in resettlement process. I have called them enablers, and identify and examine the factors hindering the resettlement process, which I have named as blockers. Now, resettlement involves what? It is basically a process of moving people to a different place to live because they are not allowed to live where they used to live. For ESM, it is making a successful transition from military to civil life, finding new job, making new friends for self and also for their children, social process of engagement with wider civil society, getting new identity. Mind you, this is very, very important. Getting new identity, forgetting old army identity is very difficult. Finding a new home, new school, college, and new work, new environment to work and live. Resocialization and development of new support system, getting used to change circumstances, vastly different from previous experiences. And this I have tried to display on this chart. This is my active serviceman. He retires today. Tomorrow he becomes ex-serviceman, and day after tomorrow he has to realize that he need to resettle and adjust in change circumstances, and that involves children education, employment, home, money, and then adjustment in new society, make friends, adjust to new culture, because culture of army is very different. Find new school, and most importantly, not this is to find a new job. Methodology I followed was this study is set in India and conducted online. It included ex-servicemen comprising the personnel below officer ranks from Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force. Universe of study is 22.7 million, so 27 lakhs as we call in India. Sampling frame is 1.2 million, so 12 lakhs. This has been taken as an ex-serviceman will have 20 years of productive life after retirement, and 60,000 retire every year. So 20 into 60, it makes a figure of 1.2 million. Sample size has been calculated as 385 at alpha 0.05, critical value of Z is 1.96 and error 5%, sample proportion taken at 50% for a conservative estimate of sample. I have received 411 responses. Study does not include commissioned officers because they are better qualified, informed, and capable of managing their resettlement. They also do not form a homogeneous group with the soldiers. These are my findings, and this is the geographical spread of my respondents. You can see that I got response from 25 states of India, so it is a pan-Indian study. Now, age profile of the ex-servicemen at the time of joining service, at the time of retirement is, we can see that 91% soldiers join when they are below 21 years of age, 3.2 20 to 24, and 5.6 when they are about 25. These are special branches. Now, when they retire, we see that I have marked it in red. 47% soldiers are below 35 years of age. Just imagine a person losing his job at 35 years. Next, 30.5% when they are between 36 and 40 years. So altogether, about 77% people are in the age group of below 40. Now, education profile is this. At the joining service, we can see this 30 plus 55. 85% of the soldiers joined after completion of their schooling, and diploma holders were 17 in special branches. Graduates were 8.8% and postgraduates were 1.2%. Now we can see that during the service, the soldiers have increased their educational standards. Like matriculates, they have reduced from 30% to 7.3% because they have moved to graduation and post-graduation level. Similarly, the 10 plus 2 pass candidate from 55, they have reduced to 11%. Similarly, graduates have moved from 8.8 to 25.9 or 26%. Post-graduation 102 at about 25%. Here I would like to mention there are 82 army graduates here. Sometimes the education is not recognized by everybody. This is another profile from Indian Army. I had 10.3% people. From Navy, I had 62%. I have been from Navy, probably the response was better. And from Air Force, 27% respondents. I have marked this in red. People, 54.9 or 55% soldiers did not have their own house at the time of retirement. So they will have to manage in rented accommodation and whatnot. 39% had their own houses. Similarly, employment status, 140, this red, 34% did not get employment, and these are the people who are having a lot of problems. They amount to about 20,000 odd soldiers who do not get employment, and their resettlement is a big problem. Now, factors that help in getting job. Civil education has been found to be the most important factor. 34% respondents felt that civil education is most important for getting job. Second was merit and networking. You sit in competitions, have your network, and you get a job. Reservation, that is the government reservation in job, 21%. Army training was responsible 13.0%, and other placement agencies were balanced 3%. Challenges in resettlement or the blockers are military service converts a civilian into a soldier, but no system is existence to convert him back to civilian after retirement. That is the big problem. Ineffectiveness of resettlement agencies is a major concern. It has been found in most of the studies that the resettlement agencies are very, very ineffective. Non-implementation of reservation rule is a serious issue because government made reservation rule, and it has been found that their own department are not following the reservation rules. So this is a major issue which need to be addressed.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Sharma, but please try to conclude in 2 minutes.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes. ESM lacks civilian job skills, so there is no effective way to reskill them, so they don't get job. And the military skills they find it difficult to utilize in civilian world. Training courses are outdated and not valued in job market. Focus on recruitment and not on rehabilitation. And conclusion is employment is crucial for resettlement. Higher education and reservation help ESM get job. ESM without job don't get resettled. Measure to make resettlement process effective and successful will be implementation of reservation rule in all organizations, absorption of ex-servicemen in Central Armed Police Forces, sensitize corporate leader to absorb ex-servicemen, improve educational qualification of soldiers, select job-getting courses in pre-release training, and equate military trades to civil education trades, and evaluate mental health of retirees and arrange counseling if needed. Thank you for your time. And now I can take questions, if any.
Actually, it's a very good work that you did. It's a kind of a contrast work what we usually listen in these conferences. But we congratulate you for taking up this kind of work.
Thank you.
Because we are running out of the time, I believe if someone have any questions, they can share it on the chat, and at the end we can take those questions. Mihir.
Yes, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Stephen, and thank you, Mr. Sharma. So we move ahead with our next presentation. It will be by Anita, and she will present a paper on opcode and gram-based malware classification in Android.
Yeah, Anita, I have a request to you. Yeah, please focus on your contribution directly. Yeah, again, I'm just reminding.
Yes, perfect. As per the Dr. Stephen, please concentrate on the novelty and your research work. Yes, Anita, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, Anita. Please share your presentation. I think so. Anita has some issue with the connection, so we move ahead with our next presentation. We will take her presentation in the last. So for next presentation, I like to invite Alasaga to present a paper on a repository collaboration model to gamify education using synergistic digital hub from United Kingdom.
Unmute. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Allah.
Yes. Um, Hi everyone. I'm not sure, but the video is not stable. But I hope that you can hear me clearly. So.
Yes, we can hear you clearly. You can go ahead with the slides.
Okay. It says that disabled participant screen sharing. So.
Just a moment.
Could you please try again?
Yes, please try again. Now you can. Now you will able to share.
Yeah. So the screen is visible, I hope, to everyone.
Yes.
So hello everyone, and thanks for joining us in this presentation. So it's a different situation for a conference, but I hope we all get the most of it. So I'm here presenting a proposal for a synergistic digital hub for educational purposes. This work is written by myself and my PhD supervisor, Professor Atkins and Dr. Campion. So the presentation, I'll just introduce the work and then the gamification relation to engagement and motivation for students, and a review of some of the current efforts to support homeschooling, and then the proposed model and a conclusion of my research. So again, during these uncertain times and the lockdown of many institutions has resulted in providing online alternatives to support different things. And one of these things is the homeschooling. So the use of emerging technologies to promote learning, such as mobile learnings and online virtual or distance learning, gamification, is always an interesting research area. This paper aims to propose this synergistic digital hub as a model to support a gamified homeschooling environment. So there are plenty of studies that discuss the benefits of gamification to enhance students' motivation, learning retention, acquisition, and engagement in the educational process. So gamification can be applied through various elements such as rewards, points, badges, social engagement, progressive goals. There are plenty of gamification elements to be included. Teachers have been using some sort of these elements in their in-class activities, such as the leaderboard or like the star board in class. So based on students' behavior or based on students' acquisition or who mastered the timetables faster than the other. So teachers are already familiar with gamification, but not in the electronic or the online form. So I have, in this work, I have reviewed two of the attempts that emerged during this pandemic in the UK. So one of them is the BBC Bite Size, which BBC is a broadcasting company here in the UK, and it's like a national resource. So they do provide every day 3 lessons for all school years, and these lessons could have textual information, maybe sometimes instructions, a short video, or like parts of printable games, or sometimes even an interactive games for the students to try. So the review of that work, it is an interesting work, but it just works as a distribution platform of the lesson. So there is no student profile where they can see their personal record or their personal progress on the website. So according to studies in gamification, adding progress information for individuals is could benefit could enrich the experience for the students and provide them with a sense of accomplishment. So this is one of the things that is missing from this website. Another attempt was by a teacher, primary school teachers in the UK, and she has a YouTube channel called English with Holly. So she is broadcasting lessons during the weekdays to support Key Stage 2 pupils, which is quite interesting. And she has this nice way of presenting the idea, but again, there is no way of supporting individuals to see their progress through the lessons as they move on from one week to the other. There are other schools that decided to go with online classes using platforms such as Microsoft Teams or Zoom, and others stayed on a weekly email activity sheets. So all of these efforts are obviously appreciated by parents, but again, for parents who have children, and they are facing this dilemma of being in a lockdown situation while their children are missing out from their learning experience. It's kind of there is more to be done in this area. So there is a lack of motivation for students, and that can be met through gamifying the learning environment for them. So why not use the technology to build a better platform for homeschooling? So this is why we propose this model. We suggest this model to facilitate a collaboration platform, to create a community that includes teachers and parents and students, game developers, and government body representation. So this is the model we are suggesting. As you can see, there are plenty of collaborators here. So for example, mainly here, obviously, the students, the pupils, we want them to be able to play the game, to socially interact with each other, to personalize the game, to be aware of their progress in the game. And the parents as well. So parents can suggest new ideas, evaluate children's motivation, so they can leave some feedback and comments to see what is happening with their children on on this platform. So if this lesson is more understandable by the children, if the game helps or didn't help. So all this type of support and interaction between them. Also the teachers, so teachers can obviously suggest new ideas. They can build an ascending challenge of the game. So by providing a repository for all these collaborators to communicate together, we are just enabling sharing the expertise of different stakeholders, which is what we need in this kind of situation. So I'll just give an example to explain how this could work. So if, for example, during lockdown in the UK, people are allowed to go. Even in the earliest stages of lockdown, people were allowed to go for an hour walk out in the park with their children. So a child counting the steps of the path that they take in the park with the family, this could be a simple math task. Then a parent could be sharing this outdoor activity online on this platform, on this repository, as an idea of math practice with their children. A teacher might suggest a new task that just to build the learning progression, to have this ascending challenge of the activity for next time that the parents would go out and walk with their children. Later on, a game developer could see this idea. If it has a high impact on students and they like the idea, then he could provide a different learning medium for that by building an application. So all these information shared by different people could help to support better collaboration, could help to build an interactive environment for learning that in situation like this lockdown, so it could help to be an alternative for conventional learning and schools and classes. But later on, when life goes back to normal and children are back in classes and schools are opened again, this can be a supporting platform to support teachers, to support students who wants to play more, who wants to learn more, but they can do this while learning. So the reason gamification is important part of this, that if you are doing this game for, trying to talking from my own experience, like my children tried BBC Bite Size, but they wouldn't continue with it. Of course, it's not only the problem with the website. No, it's fine, but it doesn't give them the motivation to continue and coming back to see whether they got something new or a new activity, or if they are collecting some points. So we want to incorporate the element of motivation and students being excited to come back to this platform and see what's new. Also, it's in this time specifically, the role of parents has been more crucial than ever in the learning process, as the schools were closed for the time being. So parents were allowed to have most of the support that the teachers usually give to their students. So it's kind of a new challenge for some parents who doesn't know how to simplify things for their children in order to make them understand the learning material. So I hope this simple example just explains the idea that we're trying to put here. So the idea is not just about online games, it's just about having the gamification as part of the learning activity. Either this game is an online game, an application on the phone, or just a simple task that can be done outdoor, but it somehow represents a learning objective. In conclusion, as there are some positive aspects of the new, some positive aspects of gaming, so why not using it to face the new challenge of lockdown during to Corona pandemic? So this pandemic has actually led to an increased commitment to the community and willingness to embrace novel approaches to learning and teaching. So the intention of this dynamic repository would be to provide sharing resource to be used throughout the educational sector. The future work will be to expand the model and to develop a prototype web portal for application to the education system in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now, or you can later on, you can email me. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Dr. James.
Yeah, thank you. I have no questions to ask you. Go ahead with it.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Allah, for the presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really nice and informative. So we move ahead with our next presentation with Anita. She will present a paper on opcode n-gram-based malware classification in Android. Yes, Anita, now you can share your presentation. Yes, Anita, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, Anita. Yes, please unmute yourself. Hello. Hello, Anita. Yes, Anita, we are not able to hear anything. Okay. So now I request Anita to share your presentation in the video mode. So after that, we will issue the certificate to you as well because of the technical issue. So we are going towards the closing remarks of the session. Yes, Dr. Stephen, do you want to share something with our participants?
Yeah, certainly, because I thoroughly enjoyed all the presentations. In fact, though we could not able to make it physically this conference, and thanks to our team, so and the technical support we have, and we are really enjoyed all these presentations in this particular session, and I congratulate everyone for bringing out good contributions towards the in your particular research area, and some of your works include some remind some social responsibility and very practical work. So I really appreciate, and I also appreciate GR Foundation for out beating this pandemic by organizing this. Okay, in fact, sometimes we become so panic and we cancel all our schedules. But though in spite of all this critical situation, they brought positivity out of calamity. So even in this big calamity, so we are very confident that we would win. Certainly, will come out of it. And I especially appreciate Mihir for facilitating this. And also, I congratulate my friend Amit and all the team. Okay, thank you, Mihir. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Stephen. So first of all, I like to thank our session chair. Sir, this is a small token of appreciation from our side. You will soon receive that on the mail. Thanks a lot for chairing the session. This is a new normal. If there was physical, there might be the printed copy and lots of other stuff, but this is a new normal. So I like to share a few things with our presenters. Uh, First, might be few of you have received IEEE copyright form from IEEE, or might be you will get within a 2 days. So we request you to complete that form as soon as possible as you receive that. And from our team, after this session, you will receive an email with the presentation certificate, a contribution certificate receipt, and a thank you letter. So if you have any of the issues with the name or something, you can reply to the same mail. So you will get the updated certificate, and and we hope to see you next year in physical mode at London at World S4 2021. um, so thank you one and all. And now I request everyone to just, if possible, you can start your camera so we can take a small, take a memory photograph, and I will share with you all very soon. Yes, thank you. Yes, hello David. Nice to see you after a long time. Yes, good. You can unmute yourself if you want to say
Yeah,
something.
it's great
Yes,
to be back.
yes, we are
Great
back.
to meet you again.
Yeah, this time on the Zoom, but might be we'll meet again in
Yeah,
London. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah, hopefully in 2021.
yes. Okay, let me take a photograph. Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay. Oh, Roland is here. Yes, again. Okay, thank you, everyone. The interaction is open for next few minutes. If you want to share something, you can share in the chat. Okay, see you soon next year. Bye bye.
Thank you, Mihir.
Welcome.